Hi everyone. So today's video is based on a question. Somebody asked a question in the comments and I've decided to answer it today. And I'm sure that this question is actually pertaining to a lot of us. And I'm simply going to read parts of it, and I'm sure you'll relate at some points. And if this video is not for you, then maybe it is for somebody in your life and you could send it to them. Maybe it will help. So what I'm going to do is read the question and some bits before that. And then I'm going to share some things from my life and some advice that is based on my own life experience. And I will also bring in the guides, the Pleiadians, but also other guides of light. And let's see what they have to say about that as well. So the question is from Kasia. Thank you very much, Kasia, for this. And she's saying, my issue is I have no problem with connecting with creativity. Ideas pop in my mind quite easily. When I go in the flow, I create or download really cool stuff, which I love and I am excited about. I ponder the project for some time in my mind, building it up, perfecting. Sometimes I write or sketch some of it down. But she says, but rarely, I have to admit. So it's mostly in the mind. And then the excitement slows down. Life issues come up and I leave the project. After some time, the process repeats with the new one. I have always been having troubles with finishing projects, auto-sabotage and stuff. And the question, how can I help myself to change the resistance in me? So basically, the question is about the resistance to following through with project. And I'm sure that many of us are very creative here in many ways. We all are, because we are creative beings. This is very natural to us to create at all times. And the question is how to focus on one particular project, to go through with it, how to let go of resistance to following through with it. So I can share from my own life experience that the first kind of response to this question is that, who says that it is wrong to have all of these ideas and not follow through with them? We are creative, as I've already said, and it is part of the fun to just create. So if this is fun in your head and you just create things and you play and it brings your vibration up and it causes you to be joyful and expanded and excited for life, then who says that is not the aim of that project? It could literally be an excuse to make you feel better. Maybe it was just given by your soul or by your guides to help you feel more joyful in that moment. And I believe that our lives are all about joy, are all about just feeling better and better and higher. So if a project, thinking about a project, developing it, building it up, perfecting it, causes you to be joyful and, feeling the life force flow through you, then that could be the aim of that project. Ideas are there in the general consciousness. And some of us develop them. It's like we pick them from the general consciousness and bring them to our energy fields, to our beings, develop them, and then we can let them go so that somebody else picks them up and perfects it further, maybe develops some action ideas, action points, and then maybe they let it go, or maybe they take action, take the first steps, and then maybe they let it go then, and then somebody else picks up the idea and sees it through to the end. So first of all, there is that letting go of judgment. So when you let go of judging yourself for doing or not doing something, this already helps you release resistance. Okay, so that's the first thing. So non-judgment is letting go. Second, from all of these ideas that are floating about in your head, in your mind, in your energy, there must be some that are kind of closer to the ideas that you had when you were small. So I found that what I was connected with the most, which was sound and energy, like my guides, I literally could feel my guides every night when I was going to sleep. There was this certain feeling I had, and I loved it. I just kept going into it, and I kept expanding it. So for me, like, it was sound and that connection to spirit guides. And right now I do sound baths, and I've started doing this very openly, the channeling work. And I've always done both anyway, but sound and music has always been a theme in my life. And what is it for you that, has been always there throughout your life? Is it sports? Is it computer games? Is it gardening? Anything at all that is very close to your heart when you were small, especially, so like has been close to your heart and has been kind of closer or further throughout your life, but always somewhere there. That's probably the projects to kind of pick out, to focus on. So if you have a few projects that connect you to your childhood ideas, or an idea of yourself as to whom you would become when you are grown up, then those are the projects to pay attention to, because those are the ones that you're most likely to stick to. So that's the second thing. You look at your childhood and decide, okay, these are probably the closest to my childhood idea, and just pick those. So you have a few, let's say, and then the next thing that I would say, which I had the biggest problems with probably, was commitment. So you need to pick one, so choose, and then stick to it. That's for me and for many people here, I'm sure, one of the tripping points. You have to choose something and stick to it. So that is the third one, and possibly the most significant one. It is the commitment. So I will speak about my own experience and sound baths. My journey with giving or performing sound baths, guiding sound baths, have started maybe 11, 12 years ago. and I heard a singing bowl, and I simply knew how to play it. And I was so drawn to the singing bowls that, I got a few, and I set up my first sound bath. For everybody here who doesn't know what a sound bath is, just go on YouTube and type sound bath and see what it is, because it's kind of hard to describe. Anyway, so I had my first sound bath, let's say around 11 years ago, and I really had ups and downs with performing them for different reasons. And, many times I just wanted to leave the sound healing and never go back. However, I always knew that if I leave the project, if I leave the sound baths, it will be almost like a regret. So it will be like the biggest failure for me, because sound and sound healing was something very, very natural to me and was something very obvious. So, when I thought about not doing it, it was like a bigger pain than doing it. So obviously that was just me kind of breaking through, some kind of up leveling, and then I would get breakthrough and would feel great about doing sound baths. I feel great about doing sound baths right now. And I really allow my guides to come through as well. So, there's that thing about commitment. You just have to decide. And it's not about even committing long term. Oh, I'm gonna do, like in my case, sound baths for 10 years, and then I'm gonna leave that. But 10 years when I started must have, it could have felt like a very long time. So I basically committed from day to day. And sometimes there were days that I couldn't look at my singing bowls, and other days I would feel really drawn to playing them. And these were the days when I would set up the events and people would come. So commit, and also recommit every day. And then there's the fourth final thing I want to mention before I bring in the guides. Structure to your day, or even to your week. So many of many creatives these days kind of like to go with the flow, which is absolutely fine. But then, and I used to be like this as well. And then one friend of mine who is very, very creative, but also very productive. I always wondered how he was doing that. And he told me, Aga, creativity needs a container. You actually need a structure and some order to your day, so that within that time, that creativity can flow even better. And that was like, in that moment, he just caused this huge expansion in me. And I was like, of course, that's absolutely right. And, right now I have this space, and I even painted my wall in this space, in this room. And when I come here, this is helping me to be structured and to have some order to my day. Because when I come here, it's like I have to do this work. I just have to do it. And that's it. Like, I created an actual space, a container. But what he meant by having a container is basically giving yourself time. So decide for half an hour or 1 hour or however long. Don't give yourself too long, because then you feel discouraged too quickly. So let's say it's half an hour each day that you sit down and start to write down, first of all the things that relate to that one project you've chosen. And then within that half an hour each day, you will also start to decide for, okay, what first step can I take? Even without looking at the bigger picture, just let me take the first step. And sometimes you get like this bigger picture image, and other times you won't. You will just feel, okay, in this moment, what can I do? And that's it. You take that action. You call somebody or you search online and you write them an email, whatever it is. For me, when it came to sound baths, I was already running meditation classes at the time. But to start the classes, I literally just searched on Google and found this space and sent them an email or called them. I'm not sure. I think send them an email, and then they replied the next day. I went to see it and I literally said, yes, okay. So the studio is free then, so please give me 1.5 hours and I will just put out this event. And I had no idea how people will come, but they did. They found me. And here I am with all of you. So you see, you never know when the tiniest steps will take you, but stick there for a while with that project. And, if this is not the right project for you, then the universe will correct you. The universe will make sure that whatever other components or whatever other projects you were meant to be doing, you will be doing. But it is about commitment. It's almost like when there is commitment, there is this river that is now flowing, and the universe has this opportunity to connect other little rivers. But there needs to be this one big one first. Okay, I'm doing something, whatever project it is. And actually, when you're very undecided about whatever project it is, just going back to that point, just choose any. I promise you that the other ones will be fulfilled through that project somehow, or that you will get an opportunity later in life to do them as well. So I hope this was helpful. I am now going to bring in the guides.